This is Sundry News for Wednesday, July 15th, and we begin with the Daily Wire. Watch. Activist rips open door of citizen's car. Citizen leaps out and flattens him. Good. Watch. Nick Cannon. White people are a little less closer to animals. True savages. Yeah. That's super racist. And apparently he lost his job at NBC not because he was racist against white people, but apparently he said something anti-Semitic also, so that's why he got fired there. However, he still has at least one other of his jobs. Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly has video of U.S. politicians having sex with underage girls, former friend says. I guess we'll see about that if she stays alive. Viacom CBS terminates Nick Cannon over anti-Semitic remarks, does not mention anti-white remarks. Native American son of Redskins logo designer says it's not offensive. I read this yesterday, not on here, but I read it yesterday evening. And yeah, apparently the Washington Redskins used to just have an R as their logo. But then, way back when, I believe it was the early 70s, I think it said, this dude's father was instrumental in them changing to this logo from a, pretty benign R to this logo, which is apparently offensive to people, but then it wasn't. It was designed by this by this Native American guy who actually, pushed the Redskins to use it, and it is the likeness of an actual Native American chief. And in all fairness to the son, he understands that the nickname Redskins might be offensive, but the logo itself he thinks they should keep. Not sure how they'll be able to do that if they choose something like, say, the Red Tails, but if they do manage to get the Warriors, then I suppose they could keep it then. Not that they're going to, because it doesn't matter what this one person says, even though he really should be the only person that gets listened to, given his background as the son of the designer. No, they'll probably trash everything. Most likely, due to all the loud tantrums happening from a very small section of the population. Oh well. Hey, if we go with my idea of Washington Squaws, then, yeah, Washington Squaws. That's a great idea. How amazing would it be for the Washington football team to be, Washington, D.C., that is, to be the very first NFL team to pay homage to women with their name? Because women are amazing and powerful. Women should be revered in our culture, even in sports, in football. Women are amazing. So they should definitely do that. CBD is amazing and now legal, helping people everywhere from health-beast.com. And there's a bunch of other ads. And that's it for the Daily Wire. Next up, the Daily Yahoo. Naya Rivera's cause of death revealed as her family issues statement. Heaven gained our sassy angel. Investigators believe the Glee actress saved her 4-year-old son's life over her own when the boat she rented in California's Lake Peru started to drift. Okay. Let's look at that. I was wondering how the kid got back in the boat. Naya Rivera's cause of death has been confirmed as drowning 1 day after her body was discovered. The Ventura County Medical Examiner's Office said on Tuesday there is no indication drugs or alcohol played a role in the tragic accident. The circumstances and visual characteristics all indicated that the body was that of Naya Rivera, and the identity has been confirmed by dental comparison. The report, obtained by Yahoo Entertainment, reads, "The body has been x-rayed, and a full autopsy has been performed. The autopsy findings are consistent with a drowning, and the condition of the body is consistent with the time that she was submerged. No traumatic injuries or disease processes were identified at autopsy." The office concluded, "There is no indication from the investigation or examination that drugs or alcohol played a role in the decedent's death, but specimens will be submitted for toxicology testing." Rivera's family issued a statement to Deadline on Tuesday afternoon saying, "Heaven gained our sassy angel." They asked for privacy during this difficult time. "We are so grateful for the outpouring of love and prayers for Naya, Josie, and our family over the past week." Who's Josie? "While we grieve the loss of our beautiful legend, we are blessed to honor her everlasting legacy and magnetic spirit. Naya was an amazing talent, but was an even greater person, mother, daughter, and sister," they said via Rivera's manager, Gladys Gonzalez. The family thanked everyone who was involved with the search and recovery mission. "Thank you, okay, blah, blah, blah." It was a pontoon boat for her and her 4-year-old son, Josie, okay, but never returned from a swimming excursion with her boy. According to investigators, it's believed she saved her son's life over her own when the boat started to drift, as there are currents in the lake in the afternoons. "We believe it was mid-afternoon when she disappeared, the idea perhaps being that the boat started drifting, it was unanchored, and that she mustered enough energy to get her son back onto the boat, but not enough to save herself." Okay. Rivera's son told investigators that he and his mom had been swimming and that she boosted him onto the deck of the boat from behind. He told investigators that he looked back and saw her disappear under the surface of the water, Ayub noted. Aw, poor kid. While friends and family are mourning Rivera's death, many are not surprised. Her last act was a selfless one. She often talked about her special bond with her son. Okay. Sad. Harvey Weinstein $19 million settlement quickly crashes and burns as judge refuses to approve. Updated. With statements from New York Attorney General and lawyers, amid a growing chorus of objections and opposition, a federal judge this morning killed the proposed $19 million settlement for victims of Harvey Weinstein. "Based on my studies of the papers, based on my study..." Okay, for what reason? What? "Based on my study of the objection papers, and based on the flaws that I have already noted, I will not give preliminary approval to the settlement." With repeated questioning, the U.S. District Court judge pulled apart the terms of the June 30th unveiled multi-million-dollar deal in the short telephone conference this morning after listening to plaintiff's chief lawyer, Elizabeth Fagan, lay out the case for the settlement. "The idea that Harvey Weinstein can get a defense fund ahead of the claimants is obnoxious," said Hallerstein, who oversaw the 9/11 settlement case years ago. "The idea you can regulate the claims of people not in the settlement, I can't subscribe to that," he added, sweeping aside the legal house of cards in front of him. Okay. The refusal to give preliminary approval puts the kibosh on an insurance-fueled deal that Weinstein himself, his brother Bob Weinstein, the former board members of the Weinstein Company, and other corporate entities had signed off on, along with many women who had allegations against the once powerful and currently imprisoned producer. As part of a larger $47 million deal, the victim's settlement also was approved by New York Attorney General Letitia James, despite a call from many other victims for the Empire State's top law enforcement official to reject the agreement. So, a bunch of women aren't getting their settlement money because a bunch more women also want money? I don't want to read this whole thing. Obviously, I'll put the link in the description, so if anybody does watch this and they want to read that whole thing, you go right ahead. Iran executives, defense ministry staffer as alleged CIA spy. Iran has executed a former employee of the defense ministry who was convicted of spying on behalf of the Central Intelligence Agency, the country's judiciary said Tuesday. The report said Reza Asghari was executed last week. Judiciary spokesman Gholam Hossein Esmaili said Asghari had worked in something for a while now. Okay. Why is that picture with that? What is the context of that picture? Is that the person who was executed? Oh, it's unfortunate for them. Finland should not apply Hong Kong extradition treaty after security law, foreign minister says. The situation has changed from the time when the treaty was signed, Haavisto told a news conference. China's imposition of a new security law has seen countries such as Britain and Canada caution citizens of an increased risk of arbitrary detention in Hong Kong. Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz reportedly planned 2 weddings costing $5 million. Lucky their parents are rich. While the rest of the planet wonders anxiously what the future holds, life for the super rich goes on in its typical lavish style. In the latest stunning example of the triumph of inequality in the time of coronavirus, geez, bitter much? 2 20-somethings who have not exactly reached the something. I don't want to read your bitter rant. Trump touts silent majority as he insists polls showing him losing to Joe Biden are fake. Despite poll numbers that show him trailing Democrat Joe Biden by wide margins, President Trump said at the White House on Tuesday that he's doing better than anyone realizes in his quest for re-election. Well, he's not necessarily wrong. For one thing, in this charged political climate, is it hard to understand that some people probably feel like they shouldn't admit to anybody that they are behind Trump? They don't want to get beat up. They don't want to get killed. That doesn't mean that they're not going to vote for him. Also, polling places, for some reason, have trouble reaching, like, an entire demographic. And it just happens to be a demographic that is, like, usually on Trump's side. So, there you go. Stay up to date on coronavirus. Get the latest developments and official updates on the global health panic from trusted sources. Trusted by Yahoo? I don't trust who Yahoo trusts. What's hot? Sanitary wipes on Yahoo Search. Liability insurance on Yahoo Search. Trending now, Christina Applegate, Michael Douglas. Coronavirus still at number 3. That's not fixed at all. You just can't forget about it. They can't let you forget about it. Daisy Edgar Jones, dating websites. Nissan Murano sale. Bella Thorne, Crystal Bowersox, dental implant prices, Elizabeth Chambers. I don't know who all these women are.